list of things to do that or little projects and little machining projects to do on my phone, and we'll knock them off the bottom and we'll add them on and things like that. We'll just keep it rolling. And so I had to think about it, and I thought, well, what item on that list would most benefit me now for what I'm doing? And what I have coming up is a few of those big washers where I broke the parting tool. A few big washers to make. We're coming up to slashing season, so it's a fair enough thing to knock a few out, get a few on the shelf. So I thought, well, the best thing for me at the moment would be to make the carriage stop. And so I can, when I'm boring, I can set the depth and just go up to it each time. And instead of having to keep such an eagle eye on or go a bit further, like I did last time, I must have been having a bit of a brain fart and took it a bit far and buggered the tip on the boring bar. So so what I've decided to do is do the carriage stop. So I got a bit of 2B1 steel. I don't know where I got it from. It's got the mill scale on it. Yeah, got the outer finish on it. I probably bought it for a project, had it left over. But what I've done, I had to put the vise back in the milling machine and tram it all in. So I've done all that, and I got a piece of this, chopped it off about, I've got no idea what size it is. I just sat it up there and put a mark on it and said, yeah, we'll go there. So I've squared it up. I've sat it in the mill, squared up each corner, and so now we'll sit it in. We'll do a few measurements. We'll get a little bit more accurate now, like you know, we're within this much, yeah. And what we have to do is where it sits over the V bed, the angle on here on the bed is 45 degrees, so we need to come up to here, 45 and 45 back there, which gives us an included angle of 90 degrees. So what I'm going to do is just set that up in the milling vise at 45. By the time we bring one of those big Morse 3 taper cutters I've brought straight through here, that should give us 90. So we'll just come in a bit. I'll do a bit of a rough measurement. This is with a ruler, no micrometer stuff here. Oh, not today. We do that, but this is just a little fiddle. And so we'll get that groove in there, and then that'll dictate how we go along with the rest. And I'm thinking once we have the groove in here, then we'll knock a 45 on the front here, just so we haven't got a sharp edge, and then it should sit on the bed, and we should have a little clamp that comes up underneath. And we'll also put an Allen screw thread in here with an Allen headed cap screw on it, just so we can set that out and in a bit, I'm thinking. So anyway, it's just one of those jobs. I decided to felt like a bit of machining, so I'm just going to knock that through. So anyway, stay tuned, follow along. Well, I've cleaned all the piece up. I've sat it in the vise at 45. So we're doing a run across the top here and just slowly getting deeper and deeper. I believe we should be able to get ourselves our 90 degrees included angle. So we'll put a bit of oil on and just give it a bit of a run. What can possibly go wrong? Okay, we're feeding by hand. The oil's getting a bit smoky, but it's okay. That's looking all right. Shift the light out a bit. I'm no lighting bloody expert, that's for sure. Okay, we'll drop it a little bit and we'll go again. Put a little bit of lube on. Deeper. Might bite a fair bit this time, we'll just see. Give it a brush. That's looking pretty good, really. I'll see if I can zoom you in for a better look. Yeah, it's looking okay. It's nice and even still. Yeah, we'll just putt along with it, I think. I'll give you a yell when I'm done on this bit, and I'll give you a better look. I'll rather it in a little lathe, and this 90-degree taper on the bed is where we're hoping to go with this. That is our piece that we did earlier. We've got the 90 degrees sitting in there. I'll put a little 45 on this angled in here, just so there wasn't a sharp edge running up and back. And that, there we go, that there fits in nicely. So as it comes up towards the end of the bed, there's room for a screw, an Allen head screw in here that can come up there as a stop, and we can put this wherever we like. So we'll also have to drill down here, drill down and put a couple of socket head cap screws or something like that down, and we'll have a piece coming in at the bottom that'll come up and touch there, and that we can just clamp on and move it to where we like. So just for a bit of a Monday morning quick knock up, we're coming along all right. I've been mucking around this morning doing this this carriage stop for the lathe, and I filmed some of it, but it was starting to rain, so it was getting quite noisy in here, so I just continued on. So what we have is a block with a V-net that sits over the lathe bed. In the end here we've tapped an 8mm by 1.25, so that's about a 5/16 thread, and that can go up into the, sneaks up into here. I'll just do him up here for us. And on the lathe, where the lathe bed comes along, it's got a rubber, you know, a wiper rubber. So I I'll probably put a nut on here, I'm thinking, and I can adjust that back and forth. I don't need a micrometer stop there at all. I've got a digital readout, got a DRO on the lathe, and I can always take it up and back it off and fiddle around if I want to. We've drilled right through the top here, 8mm holes, and we countersunk these holes here with a 1/2 inch slot drill. We just drop that down, just so when we put these Allen head screws in, they sit down under, so there's no there's nothing sticking out there. I suppose these will fill up with rubbish and we'll have to blow it out when we want to shift it. So that's the top half done. What we need to do now is find another piece, and here's, I just seem to happen to have one, and this next piece will have a couple of threads in it, and it will come in under the lathe bed. So there'll be a corner machined out of here, and so we have enough meat for it to clamp in underneath, and then we can do these 2 screws down, and that will hold it there. So we'll have a bit of a fiddle with this. I'll cut that off, I'll mark that and cut it off. We'll square it up once more like we did here, and before we start drilling holes we'll sit them both in the vise, and we'll just run across the top, find this level here so they're both the exact same width, which something I probably should have done earlier, but all I did was pull the mill scale off, so it'll be close. So anyway, stay tuned, we'll do this bit. Well, this is the bottom plate down here, and what we need to do is roughly where those lines are, take that meat away. We've got it sitting in the edge of the vise, sitting on parallels down in here, on the edge of the vise, with a screw jack underneath it, this fella here, screw jack supporting it because we're out there a little bit, and the vise is nice and tight. So we're going to feed manually. We'll go back and forth a few times and just see. We've got I think this is 32mm, this little cutter, and it's got carbide bits in it, so we'll just start him up and give him a go. No, look, it cleaned up. I have cleaned this block up. In cleaning the block up, getting all the mill scale and all that off it, so they run all right then, so we'll just keep running our same speed, which the speed it would be running at would be about 960 RPM. So we'll try and just touch him off a little. There we are there. So we'll drop a bit of oil in. Probably flick it all over bloody camera, but anyway, we'll just see how we go with it. What are we sitting on? We're sitting on 2mm. We'll get about 1/2 mil feed, and we'll just see what we come up with, eh? They don't like that very much. We'll finish that cut off with it and we'll do something else, I think. Yeah, look, that's not the tool for that job. We'll make a bit of a change, I think. Okay, we've taken out another face mill out, and all the ends are nice and good on it, so that's okay. But yeah, just the wrong tool for the job. What we have now, we have a number 3 Morse taper end mill with, I think it's about 7/8. Could be a regrind, but look, it's just something I bought in a bundle of tools on eBay one time, and yeah, we thought, oh well, have a look and see what it's like, and I think I paid 20 bucks for it or something like that. So anyway, today it might have to earn its keep. We'll kick him up and see how we go. There's a little furry edge there, we're just not quite covering, but that's fine. This edge is going to line up nicely. I better not play with that, I'll end up cutting my hand. Alright, we'll just drop him a couple of mil and we'll... What are we going there? 1/4. That's 1mm, so we'll just see what happens, eh? Speed now on this one is sitting on 540 RPM. About that, I didn't have the compressor turned off, but that's alright. Okay, look, I thought then that 1mm was too much to take, so we'll go 1/4, we'll go 1/2 mil. It's about 20 thou on my little mill, so we'll give this a go. Okay, look, that's coming up alright. I'll just chew away at this and I'll come back when I'm near the end. There we go. All the edges done. And look, that worked quite okay. I tried a 2.5mm cut and it was no different to doing the other cuts, so it seemed to go okay. The cutter's in pretty good nick. It had one dicky blade when we started, and yeah, but there's no more buggered, so yeah, it looks good. Anyway, we'll get this out now. Yeah, we'll sort out what we do with these holes, and this will have to be trimmed back quite a bit yet, but we have to work out how much, so we'll get him out and go to the next step. Well, while we have the end mill in here, it's still going good. Still got that dicky edge here. We need to drop about 5mm off here. Now look, it's between 5 and 6mm we're going to knock off. The measurements up on the lathe, I just took them with a ruler. So it'll fit nice when we're done, but we're just we're not getting too excited about accuracy. It'll be fine. It's just dropping down and touch off. I'll lock the dovetail at the back, take any chatter away. Take him down till she just touches. There we go there. So we'll set our dial here at 90 up the front of the mill. I think we need to come across there just a little bit. We'll lock this. Lock the bed from travelling this way. We'll drop 2mm out, see what happens. Couple of hot little missiles coming my way. I might just speed this up for a second just to see what difference it's going to make. Might take us to the strut. Potentially like that a little bit more, and go back the other way and see what happens. That's fine milling. A little bit more, then that'll be plenty. Still time we'll pass them away back. Okay, we'll take that over and we'll have a bit of a dummy fit and just see how we're going. Well, we're back over the lathe and we're just going to see how we're going here. And I wanted the back here to line up. These two back surfaces and these two side surfaces to line up. And this is actually, when this goes in, you can actually feel it curling down the casting just a little bit. So I think we probably need to take another millimetre or two off on here. Or we could set it up and just do a little chamfer across there, which is probably the better idea. With a little bit of chamfer, we've still got that meat there. And we've got a little bit of a gap there. We'll have to, some of that gap will disappear when we put a chamfer out along here. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. We may have to, I'm not sure, I may have to put a little screw in here and put a little set screw down to touch the back here, if that gap's going to stay. Look, I'll take a little bit away from here and knock that corner off and come back. Well, there we go, finished article. It has a nice solid feel to it. It doesn't want to move anywhere. Just back these fellas off a little bit. Move them back and forth where we'd like it. That should tighten him up. That's a good fit. So, what do we have to do? We changed the radius around the bottom here, and this isn't quite lining up 100%. And I'll show you what I done. Pardon me. Bozo come to visit, but that's how it goes. Right, so to get these bottom holes here, is it staying in focus? Yep. To get these bottom holes here, what I did was set this in the mill vise, lined this right up, got all the surfaces nice and true, sat down in my 8mm clearance hole here and just popped them. Then I pulled this out and I just had that there left in the mill. So what happened, my neighbour come for a visit, got chatting, and anyway, while I was chatting, I just done a couple of little bits and pieces to it. When he left, I thought, rightio, I forgot that I had to put the smaller drill in. I thought, oh, I'm just up to drilling those holes. So I just popped them through 8mm clearance. And so when I went to put the screws in, they went right through. There's the back side of the hole there. So, just lucky, I had some 8 by 1.25 helicoils in my boxes of junk. And we fitted 8 by 1.25 helicoils. So now we have nice stainless thread in there, but it wasn't how I meant to do it. It was just had a bit of a brain fart. Yes, got my mind out of the groove there for a while, and when I come back, it changed. So, and that has put it out of whack just slightly on the back edge. I may even clamp him all up, clamp him solid yet, and just put him in the mill and just make sure I square that up. For no other reason than for looks. But as for a functioning working tool, she's a beauty. Alright, catch you later, eh? Well look, I had to revisit this thing. I didn't like these edges not lining up, so I sat it all back in the mill. I bolted it together, sat it in the mill and did a couple of skims across as far as I was game to go before I got too close to threads and things, and then I buffed it on the buff. You know, on the I've got a sanding disc on the side of my grinder with a bit of 220 or something on it, so yeah, just to get a nicer finish on it, I put that on. So a lot happier now. It's got a nice finish on it. It's not a polished finish, but it's shiny, and the tool works like a beauty. So anyway, that's really it this time. See ya.